It's awesome to be here with you in Calgary. I appreciate y'all so much. It's really great to be here in Canada to get a break. Because when you live in the U.S., you like live there, and it's like all the time. Like you there like every day. Like unless you travel, you there every day. It's all happening all the time. You have the notification on your phone. It's bad. It's every day you wake up, you're like, oh, again. No, it's rough. It's not the best time. It is not great right now. You know, and I'm impressed by you all because you all keep up with your news and our news. Like you know what's going on here, you know what's going on where we are and stuff. And yeah, I know that you're probably concerned because you read the news and it's close. But trust, we are more concerned because when I was a kid, I was just call him Laquan because rhymes with his name. But I always wanted to be really good at like climbing a tree. Like when I was reading stories growing up, some of my favorite characters were like very outdoorsy and they could climb trees real fast and everything. Maybe that'd be half the story was climbing the tree. And I just didn't have the grip. Out of fear of heights, I would just slide down. I didn't have it like that, but Laquan was fast, was like, you know, up here and just knew like where to put the foot to get the hand, to just had like an awareness of everywhere that his body was, you know, and he was able to get really high. And then one day I was seeing a neighbor. The neighbor was like, "You hear about Laquan?" I was like, no, I didn't hear what happened. He was like, "Oh, he fell out of the tree, you know, and basically he got really high, but then a branch snapped, and so he had fallen, and then he bounced a couple times, and then he bounced between branches and just kind of hit every." You ever played pinball? He basically did that all the way down to where the actual final landing was pretty soft because every branch before that really broke his fall from what would have been a dangerous fall was now more of a plop with several lumps all over his body, right? And hearing that story was like painful because the kid that was telling me about it was there. So he was describing it in great detail. He was like, and then he was like, boom, and then he was like, boom, and then there was one branch he hit, he was like, oh, boom, 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 boom. And hearing it was like jarring, you know? I can only imagine what it would have been like to be Laquan falling out of the tree. And that's what it's kind of like to be in the US as you like hear. So boom, boom, ow, boom, 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 boom. Because I try when I go to different places to read a little bit of their news. I have to admit to you that I am not like so internationally minded all the time that I'm reading everybody's news all the time. I'm mostly focused on the news where I'm at. But in preparation, coming to Canada, I've been coming to Canada off and on for the past 2 weeks, and I've been reading news of the places that I've been going to, and let me just say, truly, it has been so sweet. It has been fundamentally adorable to read and watch your news delivered with such earnestness as if these are real emergencies. They're not, I guarantee you they're not. To just, the way, oh, okay. even today, I went to Montreal, I went to Ottawa, and Calgary, and I was in Ottawa, and just watching some local news, reading an article, and it was like a man was pulled over speeding. I mean, where are you off to in such a hurry, buddy? Is the car not enough? Is the vehicle not enough? You have to punch it. Maybe you should have left earlier, all right? Maybe think about that. Think about your own safety, safety of others, Speeding. Now, look at yourself. Got yourself pulled over, now you're late, all right? A man today was pulled over speeding, and when the police pulled him over, it turns out he had drugs in his vehicle. I just think about the parents, I think about, sure, he was 45, but where did this start? Oh, something must be going on at home, because marijuana is legal. He had drugs. He had narcotics. You see that news and you're like, oh, that's adorable. No. Meanwhile, you'll turn on the news, living in the States, and they'll just be, man in Kentucky found dead, just legs. We don't know where. We have no idea what happened to the top half. It is just legs. We're assuming it's a man. These could be any legs, really. We just sort of said man because of the size of the shoes, but while we're at it, let's just be on the lookout for anyone. If you see any top halves missing a bottom half, please call this hotline. You see it. You see it all around, even here. Come here, turn on the news, maybe read some news, and you see people angry, distraught. They're Canadians in Calgary, furious, right? Interviewing them. And they're like, I can't believe that our city, I can't believe that the province would put a sign right here. A sign right here, like a sign right here. I've parked here for years. What are they thinking? This is what happens when you lose connection to the people, all right? Meanwhile, in the U.S., Trump has tried to defund Elmo. I didn't do it. No. It's up for everybody. Bert, Ernie, Cookie Monster, anybody can get it. Nobody's safe. And so you see, when you come here and you get a break, you see people like upset about something, but it's not like an umbrella of an issue. It's just their issue. You know what I mean? There's just something going on with them personally. That's refreshing. It really is. As small or as big as the personal problem is, it's nice, It's nice to be able to talk to someone and get a sense of what's wrong with them. They're not having a good day. They're not happy, very angry or upset, but you're getting something from them that isn't this thing that it feels like no one can do anything about, Like, met a man in Montreal, And we just casually started chatting. And he seemed like something was wrong. And I don't know what led me to do it, but I was just like, how's your day going? You know? And he was like, she left. Meanwhile, in the US, if you ask someone how their day is going, depending on who you ask, depending on the state or city, you're gonna get a very different answer. But a lot of the people that I've asked, hey, how's your day going? Maybe I'm just at a store. They're ringing me up. I'm like, how's your day going today? And then they're like, oh, you didn't hear? You didn't hear? He's outlawing reading. It's over. No, it's rough because then, you know, we have Trump wins. I know y'all saw. And then he's talking wild. He's like, Canada's going to be the 51st state, right? I didn't say it. I do think, though, that one of the reasons, even the dog, even the dog. Dogs don't even have an understanding of like geographical boundaries or borders, and even the dog. That's wow. Did y'all do that on purpose? I know you've been booing every time somebody says 51st state. Did you teach the dogs to also? I think one of the things that did happen with that is that he said it in a way that was so glib and was so dismissive of not just Canada's like autonomy, but also he didn't even try to woo you. And I think it's because it's a hard sell. You know what I mean? You're telling me you don't want to be part of the United States, you don't want to get shot for free? No, in the U.S., let me tell you something. In the U.S., the United States of America, you get shot for free. You only have to pay to take the bullet out. You don't want to have the health care you have now, but not, you don't want no, you don't want your 12-year-old to read at a 12-month-old level. Why? You know, I look around, I ask, why? You don't want to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to an insurance company that will act like they don't know you when you call to fulfill your claim. Come on. You know, you don't want to make the only food you can afford food that you kind of don't even question what meat it is after a while. All right. To each their own. You know, because look, it is a tough sell to be the 51st. I don't think that it would really work. One, because of the things that we're used to. You know. Just in government alone, you have a parliamentary process. We have Congress, right? You have several parties. You have lots of parties to choose from. I say lots because we have two. So even three would be like, wow! You know, like more and more the U.S. when you travel, it just feels like. It just feels like as someone from the States, when I go to other places and I'm learning whether it's their culture, different processes of government or just customs or something, I always come off like I'm not used to anything. Like they took me on a date and I got to the table and I was like, salt and pepper. Because that's what I'm used to. That's the totality of the spice rack of American politics. You get your salt and you get your pepper. Meanwhile, y'all have paprika. I'm not saying it's perfect. You have these like 5 parties, only 3 are probably ever gonna win, but you get these like choices, these different pushes, In the US, oof. We got Republicans, we got Democrats, and we got like Jill Stein. Like I've been learning about your parties. I really didn't realize how much deeper it went as far as like the seats and the majority, and that no confidence vote is a pretty big thing. That's crazy. That's a no confidence vote. Okay. Look, because I found out about no confidence vote and I was blown away. So basically, I know you live here. I'm not telling you what it is. I'm telling you how I found out what it was, right? Okay, so with the no confidence vote, which is basically, if I have it right, it's when you have your like leadership party in power, but everybody is like, they're bad. Like, this is horrible. I don't even know if they know what they're doing. And then you talk to them in interviews and they're like, look, we don't know, but we gonna figure it out. And so then you have no confidence in them. So then, they get pushed to a no confidence vote. They get that no confidence vote. Then, you have to rejig the government. Basically, have to be like, all right, y'all are not it. Let's get somebody who is it, right? And that, as like someone from the States, that blows my mind. That you can just not have confidence. That you cannot have confidence in your leadership and you don't have to wait. Because trust me, it's not just this election. There have been plenty of elections throughout my entire life where people voted, somebody won, and the confidence dwindled within about 6 weeks. And then we were like, oh, in 3 years and some change, you're gonna find out how we the people feel. I hope you're ready for that. I don't think you can get people who are a part of a system that has like a parliamentary process that has no confidence votes and then give them what we have in the US. I don't know if that would go well to be like, no, I know we voted for him, but that was a different time, and we didn't know that he was out of his mind. We didn't know that he was completely. When he was talking, when he was running, all the brains seemed like they were in the head. And so people were like, I like what he said. I think, yeah. And then he won, and then we realized that the brains were gone. And now we have no confidence, and we should do something about that presently, right? Before there's no food on the shelves. A lack of choice was how I knew I was broke. When I was like out on my own for the first time, I had a choice between these 2 types of cereals I could afford. One was like a little corn pop thing. Whatever it was the only ingredient was high fructose corn syrup. And then there was this other cereal that was like, okay, I'm positive it was for people. I'm 100% positive it was for people, but it was built like dog food. Okay. It just had a very pellety look to it. When you poured it, it had the brrr of like pellet. Didn't help it also went in a bowl, right? And that was what I did back and forth because I was broke. And I just had these 2 choices. I could just go from one to the other, and one got me real like jittery and excited, and I usually crashed by like 2 p.m. And then the other one definitely felt like I should be barking if I'm eating it. Then I got a little bit of money in my pocket. Ooh, I got spoiled for choice. Then I didn't even know what to do. I buy some cereal and I'd be like, it's good, but it's not the best. It's fine. Completely forgetting it could have just been these 2. That's what it feels like. Look outside looking in, that you have like a whole parliamentary process. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm sure you have your problems. I get that. You don't tell anybody, but I'm positive that you have your own problems. I get it. And I understand people's frustration. I know that there's been strikes in Canada. I know that there are people that are worried about housing. A lot of the same things that people are worried about in other countries. It's not as if I'm projecting some like absolute heaven and haven onto you. I know that it's a country full of people and people have problems. It's just we have more. It's a lot, you know what I mean? It's a lot. And I don't think that it would work, you know, because even with a prime minister versus a president, your prime minister still fits in that legislative branch, you know. There's a lot of things reining your prime minister in, no matter who they are. And a president we're coming to realize by accident, is a king. That's a king. We thought we left, and we really did. We were like, we don't want a king. Get out of here, Britain. And Britain was like, all right, give it a couple hundred years. You'll want one of us. No, because we have this different branch, this executive branch, where the president's power resides, that is deciding to not really pay attention to or heed our legislative or judicial branch, you know, because it's really the legislative branch that's supposed to decide if we defund Elmo. That's really their purview. But he was like, no, I'm the only one that gets to look like this. You most recently had a decision to make. You most recently had an election. And, you know, I was here before the election, now I'm here after the election, and I was never gonna tell anybody what to do. I did, while I was in Montreal and Ottawa, tell people to just like look across the fence. Just check if you like that. You know, because they always say that the grass is greener, but sometimes your neighbor doesn't have grass. Sometimes it's just a Buick on blocks. And that is tough. You know, because then our news would become your news. Because look, don't be wrong, like I said, I'm fully aware, and I also believe, I'm open to the ideas that Canada has problems I'm not even aware of, right? Like there's a chance, I'm imagining, right? If you're in the right place at the right time for this bad thing to happen, if you go out into one of your beautiful parks and you where you're not supposed to be, you playing around, it's possible to get bit by a moose. Right? It's not all roses and bubbles over here. You can really get got over in Canada, right? You could get bit by a moose if you put yourself in that situation. If you really stay in those neighborhoods, you know what I mean? If you're really trying to live that lifestyle, you know? That's what comes with it. But trust me when I tell you, you're not ready for daily U.S. news. Sure, you could get bit by a moose here, but just the other day, a man used an alligator to rob a liquor store. Which is one of the more effective robberies you can engage in, right? No, because you walk in to a liquor store, I'm assuming to buy some alcohol, make a night of it, you know? And then there are people in the US that are desperate. You know, desperate because we don't share the same social safety nets. We won't share some of the same attitudes around a network of community the way that Canadians do as a baseline. I know not everybody agrees, and you have your conservatives, your liberals and everything, but for the most part, there's a genuine understanding that like, okay, healthcare, we're gonna have that, we're gonna do our best with housing, we're gonna do our best with all these things, right? And in the US, it's mostly like, hey, get it how you live. And sometimes getting it how you live includes robbing a liquor store, going to where you know there will be cash, going there with an alligator that might be a pet. I have no idea. I truly don't know if this is a pet or if this is an alligator that he found, or if this is an alligator that he like going in on it with. He's like, look, if I get the cat, because look, I do like the idea of them being partners. I do like the idea of them getting together and being like, listen, all right, you like raw chicken, you like raw chicken thighs, okay? If I have cash, I can buy that stuff, I can give you some of that, so we'll split it in chicken thighs and cash. Cash to me, chicken thighs to you, just so that we're clear, right? So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna pick you up like a puppy, right? But then I'm gonna grab the back of your tail, I'm gonna swing you around, right? And when I swing you around, I want you to be like, ah! Just really make a show of it, keep the mouth open, let them know what could happen if they don't act right, right? Because he didn't go in, this man did not walk in, hold it like a rifle, like anybody can get it. Hey, don't move. Right? No, this man came in, swinging gator at people. Right? And people couldn't run out fast enough. Now, it was a mistake to start swinging it in the doorway, because you really only want the actual cashier to be intimidated. Now, you've made 8 people think, all right, it's all of us against him, the alligator. You have more adversaries than is necessary. You know, then he tried to get the cash and everything, but it's hard to get the cash because the alligator, he not really thinking like a robber. Alligator was told to do his thing, so he doing his thing. Like that wiggle that they do, going as hard as he can, throwing hip, right? Like, alligators don't have booty, but if they did, he'd be twerking, right? Snapping and everything, which does make it hard to get the cash, right? Because now this cashier trying to put it all in his hand. This dude didn't have a bag. So now he just got a stuffed cash in his pocket while holding on to the tail of the alligator. And the alligator, I don't know, I don't speak alligator, but I'm assuming the alligator is like, is this part of it? Because after a while, the alligator's being more difficult than helpful, right? Stuff, and then he runs out, they call the cops and everything. And look, I can't imagine what it's like to be a cop that gets the call that there's someone robbing a liquor store with an alligator. I'm sure those cops were like, couldn't it just be a gun? No, you're not ready for news like that. Because I'm sure, look, there's property crimes, there's violent crimes everywhere in the world. You have your crime. But it seems like, from what I've been reading about your crime, that it does, and I don't mean this in like an insensitive way, but it does seem like most of your crime kind of like makes sense. Like you get to the bottom of it and it's like, oh, he wanted what he had, and so he stole it from him, right? The US has a lot of weird crime because a lot of our resources have been shut down, right? So some of the crime is not necessarily just to do the crime, it's just people doing what they think is necessary in their head that happens to be a crime. Like, a good example was, there was a man who called the police because he broke into this restaurant, right? Broke into the restaurant and I think he just wanted food. That's what I'm gathering from like the call. So he just wanted food. He called in to 911 and they were like, 911, what's your emergency, right? And he's telling them off top, look, okay, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. All right, I did break in here, get a little something to eat, make a little snack, all right? But somebody else is in here and y'all need to come quickly. Like, I'm all for a little burglary, but somebody in here being weird, like y'all need to come for real. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, please come arrest me. because this is my thing as well, is that Canada would only become the 51st state by legislation or by force. It's not going to happen by legislation, because even if the more conservative counterparts of your government really wanted it, the people have made clear that they don't want it, right? And so then there would be steps taken, there'd be no confidence, there'd be all these things to stop that thing from happening. And the one thing that I don't think people are counting on is, even if there was an attempt to do it by force, people think that Canadians don't fight. But your favorite sport, in the world, you have access to all the sports. You have access to all the sports. I understand it gets very cold here, but the one that you picked was the one where a fight could break out at any time. And not just like break out. Like sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes there's a clear, I don't really follow hockey because mainly I can't see it. I want to follow it so bad. Everybody seems like they're having a good time, but every time I've watched hockey, I've had to pretend that I know what's happening. You know what I mean? It's like being tone deaf watching like a singing show, like a singing competition, like watching X Factor tone deaf, and then you're just waiting for other people to cheer, so you're like, oh, they getting it, no. Yeah, actually, no, you're right, they bad. No. Anytime I've watched hockey, I've just seen the people's heads move. I've tried to move my head where their head moves, and I try to look at where I think they're looking at and everything. And then you hear the clicking and the clacking of the sticks and stuff. And sometimes it'll click clack extra. So I'm like, oh, the puck must be over there, but it's not. It's not at all. It's actually over here. I don't know what they're doing over there. And then somebody will be rammed into a wall, a clear wall, so you can see. I've never seen only in hockey and adult films have I seen somebody pressed up against glass like this. The way they... Wow. That, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, ooh, y'all don't think you're gonna come through? No, and then you have the fights. And the fights are very interesting to me. Truly, because it's like, there's a strange energy to the fights. No, you never really know when they're gonna pop off, and sometimes there's a backstory. Sometimes it's like, oh, look, 3 games ago, you don't just have fights, you have drama with the fights. You have a real soap opera to follow. And then you see them and throw those gloves off. I remember the first time I saw it, they threw the gloves off and I was like, ooh, won't your hands get cold? And then they go swinging each other. And then what I really love is they grab the jersey for leverage. Missing, forward, missing, nothing but missing. And really try to get close. Come here. Missing. But every once in a while, you get somebody with incredible balance and hand-eye coordination. They throw those gloves off, they grab them. You would think they weren't on skates. They swing it around and slide it, but they're still like... It's incredible. Anytime, anybody can get it. Incredible stuff. People really believe that Canadians don't fight, but they don't have fight in them. We didn't know you had booze, you know? But I knew because a while back, I saw a news story that took place in Canada, you know, trying to be international. And I saw this news story about a man who was woken up in the night when 2 burglars broke into his home and were trying to figure out what they could take. They clearly hadn't done a good job casing his residence. So they're just looking for whatever, right? And then he wakes up, and let me first say this. If someone breaks into my home and is looking for what to steal, I don't know if I'm gonna confront them immediately. I think I might try to come up with a plan. You know, maybe I'll pretend I'm a ghost. They break in, I go to the closet that's closest to a vent. I'm like, ooh, spirits live here, ooh, y'all better stop, ooh, you gonna have to return it or something, like, ooh, you gonna be haunted, ooh, you don't wanna be haunted, I don't care how big you are, you can't fight haunted, everything in here cursed, you don't want those problems, you know? Maybe that doesn't work, maybe they're not afraid of ghosts, maybe they don't believe in ghosts, maybe they know it's me. Plan B, I'm gonna act like a bigger man. They haven't seen me yet. No. Lean around the corner.
Don't make me put my killing shoes on. Yeah, you lucky I don't have my shoes on, right? Because if I put my shoes, ooh, everybody dying in here.
Because that's plan C. To act like my own dog. No. Lean into my phone, make a recording, put it on the ground, slide it down after I hit play. That way they think it's behind them. I'm probably gonna cough. Trying to bark makes me cough. And then, last resort, might have to fight them. No, I have to just run up on them and do what men do. And I have to roll up on them real quick and start biting as hard as I can. Yeah, please believe you're gonna wish it was a dog when I get done, all right? I brushed and I flossed tonight, so get ready. No, but these dudes, they broke into this guy's home and they had ski masks on, and I don't know about you, but if somebody already got the ski mask on, it just makes me feel like they're a professional criminal. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got the ski mask on already. I'm like, this is real crime we're dealing with right now. And this dude doesn't hesitate at all. And all he got on is his shorts, by the way. He just like shorts, no shirt, anything. And he starts pushing them up against the wall and he starts fighting both of them and really swinging. And they're swinging at him and he's taking some hits, but he's giving a lot. Just bow, 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 bow. He's like fight juggling them. Because he'll hit one and that one will fall and then he gets to concentrate on this one for a second. Bow, bow, bow. And then this one gets up. He's like, you get some too. Bow. And then their fight, he puts up a real fight to the point where at first they're ganging up on him. And then they're both like, look, I don't know how nice this apartment is. Maybe nothing in here is worth these lumps we're catching. And so then they try to leave. But he does keep punching them. As they're trying to leave, he does just keep whooping ass as they're clearly turned around trying to exit now. He like trying to choke one from behind and kick the other one. And then they run out. They run out of his home. He successfully defended his castle.
But then he does also leave. So then he left. I was like, uh-oh. And then you just see in the security camera in his garage him drag one of them back in. And I was like, normally, in the U.S., there's a sentiment around this sort of thing. Like, there's warnings. It's like, there's yard signs. Don't come unless you're armed. Blah blah blah. Like, there's a very frenzied passion. There's a fever dream in the U.S. of legally being able to kill someone that comes into your home. We like it a lot. There are some people that are like, please break in. I want to kill you, right? And that is almost always so that the person who wants to do the killing can use a gun. They want to shoot someone. They want to be able to shoot someone. And this man, this Canadian, he didn't have a gun. He desperately wanted to use these hands. He brought them back into I don't even know what crime this is now. Like, this was burglary, and it has turned to kidnapping, I think. I don't know if it can still be self-defense if you dragging him back in. And dragging him by the top of the ski mask too, so he over here kicking, fighting going backwards, right? And so then he brings that dude back in, punching, closes the door. This dude tried to get up and get to the door. He throws it back down and locks the door. And I was like, y'all done accidentally broke into the devil's house. That's crazy. And I think he had one of those things where instead of a key, it was like a combination thing. So as soon as you put in the combination, the lock will start to turn, because that's what's happening. Because now the dude who was the second burglar, he must have been running and realized nobody was behind him. So then he comes back and he's trying to get in, and then this dude just keep relocking it, right? So then finally, this dude just manages to get the ski mask off the guy, so now we see his face. Now his face is on the camera and everything. But then, I don't know how well this burglar could fight. It didn't seem like well at all. But he does finally, like, create like a little butterfly situation with his legs, which destabilizes the homeowner. So that guy falls to the ground. Then he goes for his own takedown on the burglar, but the burglar swings down, sits, and just has him in like a headlock, but not a headlock that's like effective. It looks like a headlock just so he can catch a break. So when you see Trump talk about like a 51st state, I feel like if I worked at the White House, I would just bring an iPad and, like, Mr. President, this is what they do. Ocean. That shower sex is even like possible. Like, that's. What are we doing? Who are we trying to impress? It's us. We know what we're capable of. And we know exactly how slippery a tub is. Trying to have shower sex is right up there with trying to have sex on tightrope. You just over here. Hopefully you gonna slip and accidentally do something good. Whoever's idea this was is the devil, because what possessed us? What video did we watch where we're like, I can do that too? It's never a good idea, ever, even if you got the bath mat. Because what people don't tell you about that tub mat, it's got the little suction cups at the bottom, but with enough pressure, it will slip right off. And so you standing on it, believing in it. Next thing you know, you wake up concussed. That's one of my greatest fears, to have some sort of, be trying to smash and get some sort of energy that, like, I can do it. And then injure myself and give her the ick for the rest of life. I think if you fall during shower sex, the other person gets an automatic divorce if they want one, because it's already not sexy in the shower. You think you're gonna fall sexy too? It won't happen. One foot gonna go this way, the other foot gonna go that way. You gonna grab the towel rack. Fighting for your life right now. Naked, fighting for your life. Over here swinging legs. I've slipped in the shower by myself and I've screamed every time. Imagine now, we in the shower together. I'm trying to lay down some pipe, all right? And then behind you, you hear, whoa! If I fall during shower sex, I better die. Because the last thing I need is to try to pick myself up with a black eye from hitting my face just right. Going like, you want to try again? Over here concussed. There's certain things we gotta stop, we gotta let go of. You know, we'd be happier for it. Because everybody want to tell you about, come back from the honeymoon and give you all the tea, all the sexcapades, young, newlyweds, still spry, still got good knees, good hips. Because we don't talk about the small muscles. Okay, I once tore my right glute trying to get out of the shower. You ever lost your right ass before? It changed everything. I had to sit on a donut. Do you know what it's like to be in your early 20s sitting on a donut? People look at you like something really wrong. People look at you like you barely hanging on. It's devastating. And it was just off of a random movement. I was getting out of the shower and just a little oh, you know what I mean? And at first I didn't think anything of it. Got out of the shower, dried off and everything. And then I went to sit down on the bed. I was like, uh-oh. I genuinely could not been past here. Every night when I went to bed, I just had to fall into bed. Couldn't even get comfortable. I had to get my roommate to lift the covers and let me fall. And then he would cover me up. And I would just be like that until he came and got me. These were horrible circumstances. There was one day, we used to get up around the same time to go to work, and then one day he overslept. I had to scream. I had to scream for him to come get me. This man waking up, realize he late. I hear him in the other room, oh, shit. And then grabbing. I hear all the movements. I hear all the clamoring. He's putting his clothes on and everything. And I'm like, hey. Hey. Heard the door close. I was like, guess I got to call in today. Don't sleep on the small muscles. Okay, take good care of yourself. Don't let somebody pressure you into shower sex you know you're not capable of. It'll even happen where maybe somebody texting, something, maybe doing a little sexting, right? I like to keep my sexting grounded. Let's not talk about stuff we know is never gonna happen. If you bring up shower sex to me while we are sexting, I will block you. I have no problem doing it. What a weird thing to stand on. No, Oh, she cute, but she brought up tubs. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. She had to go. I had to kick her to the curb, all right? Anything to do with porcelain, that's too freaky for me. I don't like that. I don't know how you were raised, but I'm a Christian. Do y'all know like a scary kid? Like you can't bring it up because they're like your friend's kid, but you don't want to be left alone with them. Because as soon as everybody leave the room, they look at you, but they can't just look at you. They look at you with their whole body. My friend, okay, so I have a friend who he had a kid like what 6, 7 years ago. This kid's got to be about 6 or 7, and anytime I go over to their house, you know, kid will be playing or something. And now it's at least at the point that the kid can play video games or something like that. But even when he was just playing with blocks and stuff, my friend would like leave the room to go get something. And then the kid would just look at me, but he wouldn't just look at me with his eyes. He'd look at me with his whole body. He would just turn like, eh. And I was like, and this is what scared me about that, right? Okay, so when I was alone with the kid and he'd be playing with the blocks, he'd be sitting, flipping the blocks and everything and like knocking them over, building them up, knocking them over, being all cute and everything. And then my friend would leave the room and he wouldn't just turn on his little butt or something to look at me. He would stand up and turn. But then when his parents came back in, he'd sit back down like he didn't know how to stand. And that was very freaky, because I would tell them, I'm like, hey, is he like standing up and running around and stuff? And they're like, not yet. So now I know I've been left alone with a demon, because why are you only walking to scare me, you know? Didn't matter what it was. As soon as they walked out of the room, he'd pop up. Wouldn't even talk baby to me, just be like, I don't know what he wants. There was one time I was at their house and he was like in front of the TV, and then I went to the kitchen and I don't know where they were, but then out of nowhere I turned in the kitchen and he's standing at the kitchen door, and I'm not gonna lie, I shouldn't even admit this, but just out of panic I almost punted that kid. I was like, imagine, just please imagine for me that you going around the house just doing your regular thing, right? And then out of nowhere, a child that no one thinks can walk is just standing behind you. It's like, what in the boss baby is happening right now? I'm very excited to see Dune 2. Because I think it's going to be a phenomenal movie. A lot of people like Dune, and I haven't heard anyone who saw Dune 2 have a bad thing to say about it. And I know it's a good movie because it's a good story. And I know it's a good story because growing up, it was the only time that I ever saw a dumb kid with a thick book. Dune is very thick. And they were always a bookmark deep into that book. Deeper than you can get in the Bible. Like the Dune might have more pages now that I think about it. And they would always finish it. I'm like, this must be an incredible story, you know? As adults, I think that we see the world in an objective way, because we're old enough now to have enough discernment to pull information in and decide how we feel about it, right? But I don't think that we see the world objectively, because I think by the time you're an adult, it's not that it's too late, but just too much has happened. You got too many biases, you have so much trauma, you have a lens you see the world through. That's why the only people who I think see the world the way it is are kids. Because they don't have all those filters, there's no like veil yet. That's why they take things so literally. You know? They'll be like, that's what you said, that must be what it is, right? Like when I was growing up, when I was learning to read, I was in class with a kid who misunderstood the meaning of sound it out, right? So instead of going chair, right? He would go, ooh! Ooh! Ooh, chair. And And that kid finished Dune, all right? I can't even judge him though, because I did the same thing in a different way. You know, when I was little, I played t-ball for a little while, and when we were playing t-ball, you know, coach, parents, everybody would say, keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on the ball, right? And I took it literally. Keep your eye on the ball. Now, we didn't have a big league of kids, and so sometimes we had to play the same team a couple times in 1 year, right? And there was one kid that really shouldn't have been playing. I don't know how many times he had been held back, but this was an adult. This was... You know that thing they talk about people always trying to do in the World Series? They were doing it in my local t-ball league, okay? This kid looked like he had a full-time job, and he would come up to the plate, and he was so good. Like, on top of being big, he was good. And, you know, tee would be right here, the ball would be right here, and he always managed to, like, crack the ball, not just, like, over, not just up, but, like, up, like really, like truly under to pop it up into the air, right? And I remember one time he did it. One time you could hear it. Hear the pop off that metal bat and the ball flying into the air. And I was keeping my eye on the ball. And the ball looked like it was gonna go into space. It got hard to keep my eye on the ball for a second, because like the clouds are white, the ball is white, and the ball is in the clouds. And then it starts to come down a little bit. I'm like, oh, I see it, okay. And I keep my eye on the ball. And then it's getting closer. But I keep my eye on the ball. And then it gets so close, I'm a little concerned, but like my coaches and my parents have been telling me, I keep my eye on the ball. And then the ball is in my eye. No one ever said catch the ball. They said keep your eye on the ball was the most important thing, and that's what I did. So then I crash to the ground, and he gets a home run because I'm laying next to the ball. Okay, I'm just gonna sort of throw this out there. I love coming to Arizona. I love visiting all the different parts. I was just in Tucson and everything. I will say though, as a state, y'all gotta decide which of the restaurants are just fronts. Like, just absolutely not a business at all. I was in Tucson and we walked into a restaurant that they looked very surprised we could walk in. It seemed... We walk in and now there are not any other customers. It's three people that are towards the back, towards the kitchen. Not in the kitchen, like outside the kitchen at the last booth, just counting money. If you run a business, your eyes should never be wide when you see a customer. We walk in, everybody, just looking caught. I was with Dave. Dave was like, are y'all open? And in my head, I was like, if you have to ask. And they were like, first of all, if you open, just say yes. This is crazy. They were like, yeah, sit anywhere. Why are you saying it like you just thought of that? Like, then we sit down, and one of them walks up. We never see the other two again. The one of them walks up, and he got one menu. He was like, hey, yeah, I mean, get whatever you want. And then he is gone for a while. He's gone, and like, you could tell he was talking to the other ones, but so everybody whispering. But they're doing the loudest whispering I've heard in a long time. They're doing that panic whispering, because there's whispering where there's like, and then there's the whispering they were doing, it's like,
And finally comes back up. He's like, hey, you decided on anything? And I was like, yeah, could we get some guacamole? And he was like, and then he left, and he was gone. He was gone for way longer than it takes to scoop guacamole. Like, I'm not complaining, I'm just noticing. I was like, all right, he already left us for quite a while after he gave us a menu, and now he's been gone for way longer. And then I see him, because in my head I'm like, oh, maybe he's making the guacamole. Maybe they're making it from scratch. Maybe it's one of those places. And sure enough, I see him walk out of the kitchen with a big old metal bowl, and you can hear him stirring the bowl and everything, stirring. And I think he's about to walk to our table, and he doesn't at all. This man walks out of the kitchen, is stirring the bowl, then walks up to the bar and grabs some salt from the bar and started shaking it in the bowl. And I was like, your kitchen doesn't have salt? Seemed like salt would be the first thing in the kitchen. The only way that could have been worse is if he had walked up to my table and grabbed the salt. Then he went back to the kitchen. I guess kept stirring. It was a while. It was one of those things where I just started contemplating about how long it really takes to make guacamole. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, would I have made it faster at home? It feels like this restaurant was such a front that when we ordered the guacamole, he went to the back and he was like, listen, I made a list. You gotta go to the grocery store right now. All right, get 2 avocados, get 1 onion, 1 tomato, a little bit of pepper. Where's the salt? And then he finally brought out the guacamole, and it was funny the way he did it, because he clearly made the guacamole, then slid it all into a cup, shook the cup real hard, and then put it down upside down, because it was like a tower of guacamole. It was an upside down cup of guacamole on the plate with the chips all around. And like, this just me noticing. I'm really not complaining, but it wasn't enough chips. It was clearly whatever chips were in the bag that was in the back, because it wasn't the amount of chips you would need to finish this cup of guacamole stacked upside down. And the chips were interesting. They all had different consistency and everything. At a certain point, here's the thing about a chip for me. When I dip a chip in guacamole, just give it some strength. I hate to dip into guacamole and have it snap in front of me, and then I look crazy. I look like I don't know how to eat. Making me look greedy just because your chip doesn't have strong corners. So, take the chip, scoop some out, doesn't snap, already a good sign. And guacamole was actually phenomenal. It was actually really, really good. It was crazy. And so he was gone for a while, and then he comes back up like 10 minutes later, and he's like, how is it? And we were complimenting, like, this is actually really good. And we shouldn't have said actually, but under the circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, just under the circumstance, that y'all look surprised to see us. So how are we supposed to know the guacamole would be good? You look like you didn't plan on making any today. We were like, this is actually phenomenal. This is really, really good. And he was like, thanks, man. Wow, thank you. And I was like, wait, what? Why do you seem like you really needed to hear that right now? It was crazy. It's like, yeah, man, thank you. Thank you, dog. Appreciate it. Did y'all want to order something else? I will let you know before y'all order any cooked food. Our chef did leave, all right? I don't know when he's going to be back. It's like, all right, yeah, I guess y'all are a regular restaurant. That's fair enough. There's that, and then there's, especially when we were in Tucson. Tucson, it felt like everybody was kind of trying to be healthy. There was so many like salad bowl places, but then there was an ice cream store next to every salad bowl place. This is the most ice cream stores per capita. There were ice cream stores across the street from each other, like rivals. And then while we were deciding where we were going to eat, after we didn't eat, this dude was on a scooter, and he took a spill, right? He was on a scooter, and I don't know, I've never been a fan of these like bird scooters, these like, the one that you can just, as a pedestrian, hop on and ruin your life. You know what I'm talking about. The scooter that's just parked. You feel like you're stealing it. Like if it didn't take your phone to unlock it, you'd be like, this is a crime I'm doing right now. And the throttle, how is it built? Remember those scooters from when we were little that just had the brake on the very end of the back wheel? It's somehow that scooter mixed with the throttle from a motorcycle. Because why'd they make them go so fast? You got people driving next to cars on the scooter, or just murdering pedestrians. Because there's no tutorial. All you need is a credit card and you could just become a bullet. It's insane. There's no video to watch or anything. You just get off. I'm going to say some things that are a bit conflicted in nature, at least. Like, we saw a guy take a spill on one of these scooters, because why wouldn't you, right? And the way this man crashed didn't make any physical sense. Because he definitely crashed and like went over the handlebars, right? But by the time we turned and saw him, do you remember planking? This man did a mix of planking and a stop motion music video, because he didn't just slide up to us on the ground. He really like his whole body kept trying to stop on the pavement. I know that hurt. Glasses flew forward, flew off his head. Glasses weren't done flying. I don't know what I said. I was like, oh my gosh. And I don't know. I wish I was a hero. I was one of those type of people that like springs into action. That's not who I am at all. I just kept standing there like, ooh. Wow. You look hurt. It's not good at all. It's not right what I did. And I didn't mean to do anything. And I didn't do anything to help. I just, whoa. It was my buddy picked up his glasses, walked up to him and was like, hey, are you okay? And this is the thing as men, like just as guys, right? For real, just it's okay to be hurt. I don't just mean that in some sort of like metaphorical. I mean like if you get hurt, it is all right to be like, ow. Because we basically watched this man die. But then when we asked him if he was okay, after he got done sliding, and he realized we saw, but we were like, are you all right? This man in front of us just started doing push-ups. Dog, no. You're not gonna convince us that this was part of the plan. That's only a man could like do something like, only a man could like wreck a car, fly out the windshield, wrap himself around a tree, and then grab a branch and be like, one. Like, in what world? You must be out of your mind. Doing push-ups, and then my buddy walked up with his glasses and then handed him his glasses. He was about to leave his glasses. He was about to get
back all this, because here's the thing. This is one thing that I can say I relate to with my man here. When I fall, I also want to make sure that I never see the people who saw me fall again. When I fall, if I fall in front of you, it's either me or you. I gotta kill you now, and I hate that. But one of us has to go. This is too embarrassing. And so my man was about to drive off on the scooter he just fell from. I assume he needs glasses if he's wearing glasses. This man was about to get back on the scooter blind and drive off just to not be in front of us anymore. And my buddy walks up and hands his glasses back to him, and he's like, yeah, that thing got me. Just got me. My buddy was like, the curve? Yeah, it tends to do that. Like, you gotta really pick street or sidewalk. The curb is kind of the only thing keeping those two apart. And then we noticed, like, he actually, from all the sliding, he actually did scrape his chin pretty hard. So his chin was bleeding. My buddy even said, he's like, you're bleeding, right? And then he goes, I know. No. You can't out tough blood. I was insane. But I've been having a great time in Arizona. It's been very fun. Can I tell you? It has been cracking me up. Apparently, it looks like Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to step down in January, right? Look. Y'all cheer, but that means there's room for somebody crazier. That's so wild. Woo! The next person shows up. You're like, oh, maybe not. Because this is my thing. It is very funny to me that it took this little resistance for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be like, you know what, I'm up out of here. I don't know. The rumor is that Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate, and Trump said he wouldn't support her for Senate, that he'd only support if she stayed in her House position. Now, I don't know if that's because of the fact that they need the numbers where they are, or because he doesn't believe that she could win the entire state. Whatever it is, he told her no. And and then something changed. He told her no, and then something changed between them. You know what I mean? Like she was like, I think I want to go to the Senate, and Trump said no, and then she was like, oh my God, you're in the Epstein files. Like it was it was pretty crazy. Because she has been she's been attacked with all the addictive nature of somebody who wanted something and didn't get it. You know what I mean? Because now she won't like fully come out against him and say like, oh, you are covering up, you specifically. She keeps acting confused. I don't know why. No. If you ever date anybody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you already know the tactic. I don't know why. Isn't that weird? I think it's kind of funny how like, isn't that crazy that he just like won't release the Epstein file? Like, and I'm not even saying he did anything. I'm just saying, isn't it crazy that it kind of looks like that because he's like protesting too much? No. And then it came to a head. Then, Trump attacked her back and everything. Y'all saw. This woman's crazy. That's what a lot of people say about their exes. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't believe she's a lunatic. All this stuff. And then she was like, oh, I'm crazy. That's the thing about calling somebody crazy who might actually be crazy, is that they never take it well, but they take it better than you think they're going to take it. They have a crazy reaction to it. It's like, oh, I'm crazy. Fine. It's like, what does that mean? And then she just kept going. She just kept, beating that Epstein drum. He kept coming after her. Then he called her a traitor. Who would have thought that traitor hurt more than crazy? Do you know what I mean? This man was called her a lunatic, called her every type of out of her name, out of your mind thing you could say about a person. And then he finally said she was a traitor, and she was like, whoa. I didn't know the gloves were off. That was crazy. Because then she had a press conference. She had a press conference. And then behind her were a bunch of Epstein survivors. Yeah, like a bunch of women who were like, no, we've publicly been calling for the release of Epstein files forever. And then Marjorie standing right in front of them, got the microphones way too high. They should have given her a stool or something. That one, I don't even like her, and that wasn't fair. That was, is she the shortest person that's ever lived? Why would they do that? That's insane that they even let just one step stool would have fixed that whole situation. They let her walk up. Who knows? Maybe they tried to help her. Maybe they did. Maybe they were like, you really should, to get to the lectern, you should probably have a little steps, do something like that. She was like, no, the truth will make me tall. No, I'm sure she said something like that. And then she got up there, and now she got to talk up. And the president. The president called me a traitor. Anytime you talk under the mic, you do sound like a munchkin. Like, it's just like, it does. The president called me a traitor. Let me tell you what a traitor is. I was really trying to take her serious the whole time. But you even saw the women behind her be like, oh. And she almost, it was a moment. Look, maybe it's wishful thinking on my part. I'm willing to admit that. But there's a moment where I could swear she almost said president. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a moment she's alluding. She doesn't say it. She still doesn't quite say it. But she's over here. A traitor is someone that sells this country out in billions of dollars to Argentina. Like, Margie, just say his name. Who else did that? Do you know what I mean? That's like when you live with a girlfriend, they're like, somebody didn't take out the trash last night. It's like, well, it's only two of us here, so if you're not saying it's you, why don't you just call me out then? No, and then she said she's stepping down in January. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. It is, because it's like she did, like I will say. So I'm trying to figure out how to put this. She did undergo a lot of harsh treatment from people based on Trump attacking her. Like when Trump attacked her, a lot of like MAGA itself seemed to turn on her in a way that I'm just saying this as a spectator. Not taking any sides, I'm just saying. It does seem a little weird and unfair that you attack her now when she's like, how about we release the Epstein files? She's getting all sorts of threats and everything, all sorts of attacks and stuff. And then she went on CNN, trying to, I guess, do like some sort of like image rehabilitation or something like that. And she gets on there and she's like, I'm sorry for the toxic politics that I've been a part of. I'm pretty sure it was Data Bash. Data Bash is over here like, all right, well, I have a list to go through. We're not just gonna let you keep it vague like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, I'm sorry for like the toxic politics I've engaged in. What do you mean? That's most of what you did. Like, that would be like Jeffrey Dahmer coming out and being like, I'm sorry for the bites I took. Like, whoa, you are grossly understating your impact on the community. This is wild. You know, then she just started going down the list. Like, are you sorry for when you liked a bunch of tweets about putting people to death? And she's like, you know what? I would love to move forward. I already deleted a lot of those tweets. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, it was very funny to watch to me because I was like, all right, look, maybe she's like changing, or maybe she just really wanted that Senate seat. Like, maybe she's really upset that Senate seat's not going to happen. And then she's asked about that. It's like, I'm hearing that, you know, some of your break from Trump wasn't necessarily a change in ideology. It was the fact that you wanted to run for Senate and he said no. And then she was like, that's absolutely untrue. I haven't even talked to the president about that. And then she talks about how she's been getting all these threats and everything. And look, I will say, nobody should be getting, like, you know, threats online or any of that stuff. Like sometimes it happens to somebody that's not a particularly good person, so you do care a bit less. But overall, no matter who it happens to, the whole idea of being better than the idea of doing something is you actually have to be better. You know what I mean? If you're on the side that's better, you have to be better, you have to act better, and sometimes that just means like not engaging in the thing. It shouldn't be a race to the bottom. And it is wild that people talk about like a violent, radical left all the time, but somebody just sort of like sick the right on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she was like, yeah, I think I'm good. I don't know. These people have guns. And it does just blow my mind. That like really took me aback. The irony there. You know? Like okay. I didn't know this dude personally, but there was this story that I was told when I was living in Chicago about this dude that basically, all right, it should make me laugh because I'm glad it happened to me. But there was a guy in Chicago. I used to live in Rogers Park, and there was a dude apparently in like Edgewater area, which is a little bit south of where I lived, that he would rob people, right? And the way he robbed people is he just had like 3 rocks and a sock, and he would just and it is, I don't know, it's like, that's terrifying. I don't know, I'm not saying a gun would be better, but a gun would be conventional. You know, like, is an upsetting idea that you could be robbed in a sort of David Goliath type situation. You know? Nobody prepares for that. Like, you know what I mean? If somebody has a knife, you like, no, okay, they mean business, right? If somebody got 3 rocks and a sock, you like, are they serious? And so he would rob people, right? And he did this like off and on in the area for like a month and a half. Like people would just talk about it. I used to work at a grocery store that was like in that area, so people would just be talking about it at work and everything. And then finally, there was one day he tried to rob somebody with his rocks in his sock. But they had a shovel. Apparently they hit him with a shovel and took 5 wallets off of him. That's a version of what Marjorie Taylor Greene must be going through. You know what I mean? It's like she did all this stuff for so long, and now finally she's the one getting threats, and she's like, these people are crazy. It's really upsetting stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know where she'll go after this. Because a lot of people move from government to like the private sector. They do a lot of speaking engagements and stuff like that. They do a lot of, I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, who's gonna hire Marjorie Taylor Greene for a speaking engagement? I mean, I'm sure there's organizations out there that are like, yeah, go up there and tell them how everybody's a lizard. Go ahead.
Well, you have to understand about the lizard people that they have and wear skin just like ours. They walk amongst us.
No, I've been trying my best to improve. You know, I've been trying to like work out and stuff. I feel like some of my friends that have worked out have seen progress, and I was like, I would like some progress. So I started working out, but nobody tells you, man. Nobody tells you that working out should be something I do more often or not at all. Like it's crazy because you'll want to. I used to want to get big. I used to want to be like a big. Every year I have hope. Hope is a hell of a drug. Every year I got hope I'm gonna turn it all around this year, you know? And it's like I'm gonna be like a bigger dude. And it's not, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen as I'm gonna stop trying. I'm saying it's not gonna happen as in I have to accept that I'm done growing. So whatever I do from here on out is just gonna be more horizontal than vertical. You know, so it's like even if I got big now, that'd be bad. I didn't get tall. I'm not tall, so then I would just be wide. So then and a wide, muscular guy is on no one's list. There's no one that's I can't wait to get to that stout, fit man. I love that build of the guy who looked like he worked out for the circus. I love that. It's never been said by anybody. Because you wouldn't even, if you got really fit, but you were like, still, I don't know, like regular height to short. It is funny, when you're regular height, like apparently I'm regular height. I didn't even check, somebody just told me that. But they were told, they did tell me that when I was having a bad day, so it might not even be true. Like it's... I wasn't even bummed out about my height. I was having a bad day. They were like, you regular height? And I was like, that's a weird thing to bring up. But there's no way, like, it just, as a man, there's no way to be regular height. You're short. Because when you even say I'm regular height, that's a short thing to say. Do you know how little you look screaming I'm regular? You look like you lost 6 inches right there. Standing up with your back, because you got your back straight so that you get all your height credit. You know what I mean? Because of back. Are you mad too? Anytime you get mad but you gotta look up a little, it makes you look shorter than you are too. Like, tall men may always seem like a threat, but at least people take them seriously when they're angry, you know? Like, if you regular height and you get mad and you're like, I'm regular. No, you're a little guy now, you know? And that's why I've been working out, but it's like, I don't know, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening, you know? Like, you be like, oh yeah, I'll even see other people's transformation video where they're like, I worked out for 8 months and look at me now and look at me then. And it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, let's try that. And then you go to the gym and it just hurt. They leave that out. That is gonna just hurt the whole time. Everything you want to do hurt. Like, you want big arms, you're gonna have to hurt your arms for a while. You basically gonna have to hurt your arms 3 times a week and make sure you eat enough steak but don't have a heart attack. It was crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, get all your protein in. It's like, all right, but what if I'm ready to throw up? Like, I can only eat so much. I'm regular height. You can't fit all the food in you need to be bigger if you want to be bigger with muscle. You could be bigger just in general. You could just start with Oreos and never stop, and then I could be a bigger man that way, yes. But I was trying to do it like all, that back of the arm muscle. You know that one that like flexes when you point? Just try and get one of those. I mean, hopefully 2. You would hate to just have one. Be terrible. Be terrible. You out here working your hardest too. You know, just working, doing pull-ups and pushes. We gotta figure out which one of these exercises work. You know what I mean? Some of them are like functional. Like I understand a deadlift to me makes sense because it's picking up the heavy. That's the dumbest way I could have said it, but it's true. A deadlift is just you pick up heavy, and then if you pick up heavy, strong. This must have been how the cavemen said it. You know what I mean? This must have been how, like, when they were first inventing working out, when they were like, oh, your life isn't that hard, so you're not as strong as us, so if you want to get as strong as us, you have to simulate it. They didn't say simulate, that word wasn't invented yet, but like, you have to simulate it by doing as much work as we do, but just doing it in like little intervals. They wouldn't have said intervals either, but they were just like, pick up big, then strong, right? And then somebody picked it up again, and they picked it up again, and then they picked it up to the point where it was easy, and I was like, all right, you're strong now. That is strong, you know? And it's always nice, especially if you're regular height, to be strong. Because nobody expects it. I don't know what it is we do. I don't know why we do this, but there is a certain amount of help needed on the shelf. We assume that person also can't pick up stuff. Because they made, I don't know why they did this, by the way, but they made a shelf at the grocery store that is 1 finger higher than regular height. It's one, because you can touch it. This is extra embarrassing. When you can touch, and now you gotta strategically finger a cereal box. And because you try to use your 2 fingers. You try to use 2 fingers to like clamp the sides and pull. And then pull back, right? But if you can't clamp it, you have to try to slide it and then knock it over on your own head. The amount of times I've knocked a box into my own face, and now somebody turning the corner, I'm standing at the grocery store holding my eye, acting like I'm not hurt. Called a corner in the eye. Corner of a cereal box. I don't know, why would they do that? It's crazy. Why would you do that? No one likes it. Just stop using that shelf. Put an ad on that shelf. I'll look up. Stop doing that, because then it puts us both in a terrible position. Puts us both in a very bad position, because now I gotta ask a tall man for help. I'd rather die. Now I gotta ask a tall man to help me like I'm his child. I don't know him. And then he gotta help me or else he evil. I do have a tall friend who gets asked all the time for stuff like that, and he doesn't do it at all. And I'm like, you know how many people just wish a death on you? Like, do you know how many people you over here walking down the aisle, and there's just little people. Can you get the pickles? And then you over here, nah, I'm good. Like, that's a crazy thing. It's your day. You should be able to do what you want with your day, but that is a crazy way to respond. Somebody needs help because the grocery store ran out of space, I guess they had to build up. So they made a skyscraper shelf that nobody can reach up. So that you reach up as hard as you can, and you over here. Trying to caress this jar of pickles so you can hopefully catch some glass in the face. It is terrible. One time, okay, this is really bad. I was furious. There was this one time I was at a grocery store and I just needed some taco seasoning, right? And they put it on the highest shelf in the spice aisle. It's over here. And this was one of those ones where they sell the packets, all the packets individually, but they sell it as an individual thing, even though the box comes with all the packets in it. So then the people that work at the grocery store, I know because I used to do this when I worked at the grocery store, they rip the top of the box and then all of the packets are just in there, right? And so it's at the top of the shelf because somebody is Satan. And so then they put this one in the top, and so I'm reaching up and I'm trying to, the only thing I can think to do is just go ahead and try to get my finger in the box so I can slide the whole thing out, grab one, and then put it back, right? And so I pull the whole thing down, the whole thing starts coming down, I get ready to catch it with my hand, but I guess one of these packets was defective because it was at least like halfway open. So as I look up and I get seasoned in the eyes. The ingredients of some of this taco seasoning is heinous. This is cayenne pepper, this is paprika, this is everything red. Everything red and dry is in the packet. So then I catch seasoning in the eyes, I start screaming, right? Look at that. Look at what y'all done. Now, because y'all wanted this extra shelf, I'm screaming in the spice aisle. Begging for help. No, because now a tall person walk by. I hate when somebody tall offer me help too. Get away from me. I'm doing it, all right? Especially, nothing get me like when I almost got it. Edge is about to slide off the top of the shelf. I almost got it. And then walk up, do you need help? Where were you 45 seconds ago? Now you want to help now that all the work's been done. I don't actually hate tall men. I'm like mostly joking. I am. I do have a friend, he's 6'3", and one time he was crying and I didn't feel bad for him. Yeah, I mean, I was like, come on, man. What are you so bummed out about? You know what I mean? So sad. Ooh. Because he also cried tall, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was like, he was, and has a deeper register because of, out here crying like he Like he at the top of a beanstalk or something. What are you crying for? Stand up. Like, as soon as you stand up, be like, oh yeah. No, I understand. I'm clearly joking. Tall people do have problems. Like door frames. Right before the pandemic, I got real fit. That was the fittest I'd ever been in my life. Like I was running, and it wasn't even an emergency. There's only two reasons to run, from or to. But I was running, because when I started running, I wasn't good at running at all. And I don't mean that I fell. I could run, like I was running. But I wasn't a good runner in that when I would run for exercise, like let's say I was just out having a run, it did look like an emergency to the people who were witnessing me run. Like they weren't like, he is jogging. They were like, uh-oh. Like, because I don't run well. I run like it's the start of the disaster movie. I run like I found out about the zombies first. And I left everybody and just let them, like the first zombie bit somebody and I was like, okay. And I dipped out. Because the way that I start running is not good. Like the way, because when I start running, because it feels dumb to start running at all. Do you know what I mean? When you're already running, especially if you're like, if you're fit, or if you're just like a general, like hot person, or if you got a good stride, running looks good on you. You see people, like when people run the marathon and they're doing that like kick as they run, that like, I'm like, what is that? I've never seen somebody run so efficiently, But to start running, and it's not a race. You're just running because you wanted to. This is your workout. And you decide you're going to run today. And, you don't want to start running like it's actual, you don't want to bend down. That seems very dumb. So the way that I start running just doesn't look good. It's like I start running like I just started running. Like it looks bad when you see it. It doesn't help that I look behind me. Yeah, just start running. There was one time I was running for a workout, and I had been running all week, so I had been doing a couple miles all week. So by this like 5th, 6th day, I was actually super comfortable with running. I didn't feel as dumb doing it because I had been doing it for so long. I was like, I'm getting there. I get a couple miles in every day, get home. I've worked out. This is great, right? And then I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Now that I've built up a sort of tolerance around getting started, I got my confidence up, I'm going to try to run faster and a little further than I have the other days. I think this is how people get fit. And so I take off, right? And I take off exactly like we talked about. This is still how I start running. Just, right? But I take off running, and as I take off running, I start like kicking, trying to do the like stride kick I see the runners do in the marathon or in like clips on Instagram, stuff like that. I'm really trying to run, and then I'm picking up speed because I'm like, look, I can stop running whenever I want, so I might as well run as hard as I can, right? And so I was running. Then I noticed this guy behind me, and it was like he was running the same way that I was running. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that Forrest Gump thing is happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if I'm oozing so much confidence I hadn't got a follower. And so then I start running a little harder, and then he's also running behind me a little bit harder, and we're both running in a way that like we're running together, but we're still decently apart and everything. And finally, I'm starting to get a little tired. I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't want to let him down, but I do want to stop now. Like I'm not built for the Forrest Gump thing at all. Like I don't think I could run long enough to start an entire run club or anything like that. I really didn't even want to do 2 miles, but I keep running. And now I'm like panting, but now I'm really pushing. And then they talk about hitting a wall and like a runner's high and stuff like that. I didn't feel any of that. It was all pain. It was all just like, I got that stitch in my side. You know, like where your side starts to stab you because it's like, what are you doing? Why are you running, stupid? We're not meant to run. Sit down. And so then my side starts hurting, but then I'm holding my side as I'm running, which then looks really bad. Like if it looked bad when I start running, seeing me run, And then I finally slow down enough that this guy catches up to me. And I'm winded, and he's winded too. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's just like me. We're both getting started running. This is amazing. I've made a friend. Running. This is I've all said in my head. I'm too winded to speak. But I'm like doubled over. He's doubled over. And then finally he says something. He's like, what was it? And I was like, what was what? He was like, what did you see? What do you mean? He's like, I saw you and I thought something bad must have happened. You know who works out hard? Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think that makes her even scarier because it's like, usually when you meet somebody who believes a bunch of conspiracy theories, they've been like, you know what I mean? Separated from society and in a basement for too long. You never meet anybody strong who's like, hey, have you heard about the lizard people? Okay, all right. This is very uncomfortable because you could also kill me. Like, there's a young woman named Riley Gaines, right? And Riley Gaines is famous because she was a swimmer, and basically in, I guess, the biggest competition of her life, she placed 5th, and a trans woman placed 4th. And so she's like, oh, if that athlete was not in the race, I would have qualified and gone on to the next stage. And that's like the hill she's dying on. That's like that started her political career, and then that's why she gets invited to all these speaking engagements. And it is wild to me that you would tell so many people you were never going to win. Like that's crazy. Because here's the thing. 5th means you weren't close. Like 5th is crazy. Like that's, you know what I mean? You don't even have a silver medal type of bone to pick. It's like they don't make podiums for where you were going to place. Even if this person was not in your way, all right, you still can't swim as good as other people. Like, to be fair, look, I can't swim at all. I'm not a swimmer, right? I'm not a swimmer at all. I'm trying to learn, but it feels like I'm fighting the water when I'm in there. But I don't broadcast it. You know what I mean? I'm telling you right now, for the sake of the conversation that we're having, that I can't swim. But I don't do speaking engagements where I'm like, I can't even swim that well. Pay me. Pay me money because I came in 5th, which is not close to 1st. Man. It's like, and just, I don't know, it's like, because there's a very there's a very hateful approach to a lot of the things that she says. And it's like, but you, in theory, wouldn't you be thanking this person? Because this person, that's the reason that you say you came in fifth. If they weren't there, you would have come in fourth. And then you just wouldn't be that great of a swimmer. You'd have nothing to talk about. This person gave you a career. Now you can travel the country being like, I can't believe I came in fifth because of this trans person. This trans person is why I came in fifth. Because no one would give you money for a speaking engagement if you were like, I came in fourth against all these cis women. What's someone gonna do about that? Just throwing it out there. Oh, you weren't close. Fifth is, look, I'm not saying fifth is bad. I would have come in last. But fifth is not close to, there's several people. There's several people between you and winning. A substantial amount of people. There were enough people in between you and winning to pull you out of the water if you were drowning. That's a crazy amount of distance between you and number one. That's just a fact. It's a fact that you admit when you do speaking engagements where you're like, oh, I was so close to kind of qualifying. And that's just because they take the top four. If they decide to take the top three, you'd be even further from, I don't know, it's a lot of money to make to be a failure. Your whole thing is swimming. Your whole thing is swimming and you didn't do it. You swam, you didn't drown, but you... It just feels like that's what a lot of this stuff is, you know? It's a lot of an attachment to someone to blame for something you were never going to get anyway. You know? That's what a lot of it is. It's like sometimes I'll see people, even with the idea of taking jobs, right? Oh, they're coming to this country, they're taking the jobs. And it's like, yeah, okay. They're taking the jobs. What do you do? Do you ever be it's weird when it's an assistant manager at a Wendy's being they're taking the jobs. It's yeah, but not this job. What's some of the people that are so mad. I'm yes, but they are not in between you and the thing that you want. The person in between you and the thing that you want is the person who already has it. Is someone doing better than you? Is someone doing better than you that has it? So if you wanted a better job, the person that you should be mad at is the person that gives out the better jobs. The person who is willing to do any job is doing worse than you. It's weird to blame them when they don't affect you at all. Not like that. So then the person you should be mad at is the person who is keeping, and they planned it. They planned this whole thing. They made it so that you would blame this person because when you do, you're not looking up at who's holding up all the stuff over your head. You should be mad at them up here the way that you would get mad at a tall person walking up to you as you're trying so hard. You're trying to pinch as hard as you can, just a better job, just more opportunity. And they're hey, you want some help? Do you feel is it help? No. How are you gonna get mad at somebody doing worse than you? They're not keeping you from anything, you know? It's getting mad at the bottom shelf because you couldn't reach the top. I mean, it's getting mad that you're in 5th place when you were never gonna be first. I just can't get over that. Because I remember the first time I heard about Riley Gaines, I genuinely, what I thought happened was that she was second. And then a trans athlete came in first, and she was like, oh, you stole from me. You know what I mean? And then when I heard that they don't even make a type of medal for the position she came in, it goes gold, silver, bronze. I guess you could give 4th place like aluminum or something, and then you could give 5th place like wood, maybe. You got the wooden medal in swimming. You got the waterlogged medal in swimming. Yeah. No, it don't know, it blows my mind. It just feels like so much of what politics is based off of is that thing. You are keeping me from what I want. I want this. You are the reason that I'm not getting it. Not the politician. Not the person who like signs bills into law. There's just like this person over there, somehow more powerful than the person who had to be sworn in and get all these votes and have all this money and has donors and has people who call them that they better pick up the phone for, you know. That person, not as powerful as random person from another country. You know? Because it's not just about immigrants, it's everybody. It's every type of other. And it's every type of other until there is no other. Because then you'll see it sometimes happen. It does happen on like a final phase level to white women the most. Like hardcore conservative white women who are in the room helping make decisions and everything. There will eventually be a thing where, for whatever reason, you're around a bunch of other conservative men and then they want you out of the room. There's only so many spots and you can't take up a spot. You're not really one of us. You're an other. You're like, no, but I'm not an other. It's like, you are. No, you are. And you'll know it at like the worst time. It'll be like when you finally want something. You've done everything that you're supposed to do. You voted the right way, you said all the right things, you hold all the right beliefs, you do everything that you're told to do, from whether it's from a young age you grew up in a conservative family, or you have these conservative values, and you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. You're doing everything towards the sort of life and country that you want, and then you finally want something, but maybe you want something that's a little bit out of your place to have. You know, maybe you want to step into a position that other people don't want to see you in, right? Maybe you want to be like a senator, and right now you're a House rep, and so then they tell you no. I know you've campaigned for me. I know you've spent millions of your own money trying to help me. I know that you've had my back every step of the way, but like, no, come on. No. And maybe it's not because you're a woman. Maybe it's because you're out of your mind. But like no. Just no. And do with that what you will. And then she's like, oh my God, you're in the Epstein files. No, I can't believe it. Oh my God. Phoenix, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.